We're standing in history. This is where the legendary Silk Road began. Here is where 13 Chinese dynasties ruled for over 1,100 years. And over here, the awesome Terracotta Warriors. Where are we? Xi'an, Jiangxi Province in China. Hello, welcome. I'm Greg Granger.
Stand by for a welcome ceremony starring hundreds of actors. They staged this just for us. The dancing fountains dazzle, the money gods beckon, the brides radiated. Banquets, waterfalls, warriors. Oh, those warriors, what a spectacle! It's all to be experienced as we immerse ourselves in the glorious history of Jiangxi Province, China. The strains of an ancient Chinese flute welcome us to the historic centre of Xi'an. Towering above us, the giant Wild Goose Pagoda, and emerging from its depths, the very knowledgeable guide who'll be revealing Jiangxi's most valued treasures. Meet Yu Da-Hu, nicknamed Tiger, because his name literally means Big Tiger.
Ni hao.
Ni hao to you. So Tiger, you're going to show me not only Xi'an, but all of Jiangxi Province.
Yes. Xi'an is important because it is an ancient capital of China and has a lot of history back here.
So that history stretches way, way back.
Yes, the history stretches back as early as 3,000 years ago.
The Chinese love travelling to Xi'an. This group of film students have come down from Beijing.
We are shooting a small movie here.
It has many history here. I think it's beautiful and I love the scene here.
Surrounding the pagoda are a series of Buddhist temples with followers paying their respects. Tiger and I meet up with two out-of-town nuns.
It's one of the centres of Buddhism in all of China.
Well, it used to be, and now it's also pretty big in Buddhism in Xi'an.
One temple here pays homage to the money god.
So, the money god, I've got my money.
Yeah, I got mine too.
So what happens here?
Well, actually, money god is one of the Chinese deities for the local people. And people come here just to give some contribution to the money god and hoping that money god will give us more.
Let's do it.
And if banging a giant bell brings you good luck, well, let's go for it.
Ringing the bell, it's all for good luck, eh?
Yes, Chinese people believe when they ring the bell 3 times, it will bring you good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
A little bit of speed up.
Our exercise this morning is to climb to the top of the pagoda.
So, a big climb now. How many steps to the top here?
Roughly about 260.
23, 24, 25, 173, 175, 176, 177.
266 measured by my feet.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
But hey, look at that view.
Yeah.
The Silk Road, right
Yeah.
down the Silk Road.
What we look down on from these dizzying heights are the walls of the ancient city.
We always love walls, and as early as 3,000 years ago, people here started to build all these walls. So this particular one was built 600 years ago in the time of the Ming Dynasty.
The historic city walls attract Chinese wanting a great photographic backdrop.
This young couple getting married, the red symbolises...
It's happiness. The red always symbolizes happiness in China.
In all, the walls run some 14 kilometres, and the best way to explore them is by push bike.
We can climb to the top of the wall. It's like a very wide boulevard that we can bike on it.
That evening, the walls of the ancient city come alive with bright lights. What we're about to experience is a truly spectacular spectacle. 220 actors dressed in historic costumes performing a welcome ceremony just for Tiger and me.
Look at those brightly lit city walls, and here come the envoys from the Tang dynasty.
Those people are the envoys of the emperor. On behalf of the emperor of the Tang dynasty, they come to meet the people from afar. Usually during the time of the Tang dynasty, they have people with the dancers and the emperor's army officers and honor guards to come out to meet the people and show them into the city.
So we're being shown towards the city walls there, and as we reach the end here, we're seeing, is that the emperor coming out to meet us?
That's probably the prime minister sent by the emperor on behalf of the emperor coming to meet us. And then the soldiers will lower the drawbridge and welcome the people to get into the capital city of the Tang Empire. All of these officials of the Tang dynasty, they must be very highly educated, and they pass many examinations to be selected by the emperor to be officials, so they are very proud.
So I've seen some shows in my life, I've never seen anything like that, and to be involved, to get right in the middle of all this, amazing.
Yeah, the Tang dynasty was a very, very open society, and they were very confident about their own culture, so they welcomed everything from around the world.
Next day, we step out to take in more of Xi'an. The parks are full of activity, like this whip cracker, spinning a flask with one crack at a time. Just got to try that. Mass dancers get together for their morning exercise.
That's true.
And what about this? Walking the birds.
So they're not walking their dogs here in Xi'an, they're walking their birds.
Yeah, well, just like in the West, you walk your dog. In Xi'an, they walk their birds because birds are the pets. Every morning, they have to take the birds out, and they have to come to a park like this, a beautiful place. And when they come here, they cover the cage. And because the birds, they don't want to have too much distraction for the birds. When they come here, they hang the birds in the trees so the birds can compete the singing.
Xi'an was where the legendary Silk Road began, and to commemorate that, there's a huge sculpture near the centre of the city.
So this very, very long, gigantic statue commemorates the Silk Road.
Yes, because in the time of the Tang dynasty, this place used to be the western gate of the walled city. So all those people going on the trip of the Silk Road, they will have to start here. The Silk Road actually officially started 2,000 years ago in the time of the Western Han dynasty.
As for markets, just look at the vibrant life of these markets in the Muslim quarter. Lollies, these two guys synchronise their pounding to hammer out a dish that's very sweet.
Well, they're pounding the silver right here and creating this wonderful, wonderful work, including yours.
Yeah, they are following the more traditional way of making silverware. This one is a decoration they put on the table to bring good luck.
And what have we got here?
And these are the lamb on the willow stick, which is very traditional.
Stick of willow,
in this area.
bit of lamb.
Yes.
Let's buy two.
Yeah.
Fresh lamb,
Yeah.
quite tasty.
She's making the pomegranate juice.
So knocking the seeds out, and she'll crush that, juice that, and
Yes.
have a sweet drink. Sweet as, eh?
Yeah.
Sweet as.
Yeah.
All that food. Time to try out a dish popular in Shaanxi province, dumplings. Preparing them is a real art.
Dumplings are very famous kind of food in northern part of China. Started in China a long time ago. Someone said that 1800 years ago they started to make dumplings in China. And then in Xi'an, people started to make a banquet of dumplings.
So what we're looking at here are the ingredients. We're looking at a range of very bright, colourful dough. This is the wheat dough. to start with?
Yes, these are all the weak doughs, and the colors are from different kind of vegetables and fruits.
This is a work of art here.
That's right, it is the work of art. Miss Gao is the most famous dumpling artist in the city.
Ah, look at this, look. Well, I've been presented with with Freddy the Frog here with the big yellow eyes. That's quite something.
Yeah.
And some more of the works of art here. We're looking at a soccer player, all the dough moulded into soccer balls, all sorts of figurines, animals, birds. Very, very creative. Creative food.
Yes, this kind of art has been updated to the present world. So instead of making all these animals and things that look like a traditional Chinese, and they start to make these things that are very popular in the modern world today.
We got the green frog, and well, bon appetit.
Yeah.
Happy frog eating.
Happy frog eating.
That evening, Xi'an comes alive with bright lights. It seems every building from the city walls to the pagodas are illuminated.
Chinese people like the lights, and everywhere we go, we'll see the lights not only here, but also at the city wall and the main streets.
And now we're seeing the lights top, bottom, everywhere you look.
Yes, the city wall is totally lit up the whole way, all around. Also the pagodas and also all the historical monuments.
So this is history coming to life with light at night.
That's right, because this place used to be the Tang Dynasty Royal Palace's garden.
Musicians perform freely. This lass is playing an ancient instrument known as a pipa. And again, there's dancers. It seems like the whole city is getting into the swing of things.
We've moved on now to the dancers, and what have they got? They've got umbrellas and colourful scarves. There's a drummer there. They're really bringing the city to life tonight.
That's right, those dancers, they come here every day and they are pretty proud of their own art form.
The finale this evening are the dancing fountains, magical by day, even more so under the dazzling nightlights. From Xi'an, we take a drive north to China's second biggest waterway, the Yellow River.
That's the mother river of China.
The Mother River, and it starts right up in Tibet, does it not, and flows, 5,500 kilometres right through to the sea?
Yes, 5,464 kilometers long.
Further upstream, the Yellow River funnels into a narrow gorge and drops 20 metres. It's a spectacle right up there with Niagara, or Iguazu, or Victoria Falls.
Well, listen to that roar! I've got to yell to you to be heard over the roar of this.
Yeah, this is the famous Hukou waterfalls. Up there, Wei River is 300 or 400 meters wide, and it's narrowed into this small place and falls down about 20 to 30 meters. And this is the second largest waterfall in China, and it's the only yellowish waterfall in the world.
Well, it's certainly carrying a lot of mud going downstream here.
Yeah, every year the Yellow River carries down 1.6 billion tons of mud down to the sea.
Wow, so we're seeing the colour of the water, and of course it's been raining, and so the river level is right up.
Yeah, this is like a high level waterfall.
This waterfall is so impressive. It's right up there with the Victoria Falls and Niagara and Iguazu.
Yes, this is one of the world famous waterfalls.
So it's exhilarating being here. You can smell the ions in the water. It's a real charge, a real buzz.
Yeah, it's a quite exciting place for people to come and see. Like a dragon.
It's like a dragon?
Yeah, the Chinese people think Yellow River is our dragon.
Well, it's certainly roaring like a dragon here today.
Travelling on, we explore villages centuries old, like Dangjia.
So the Dangjia village here would be typical of villages from centuries ago. This is 670 years old, this village.
Yes, this one dates back from the Ming Dynasty 600 years ago. But actually, most of the buildings that we can see down there were probably built in the Ming and Qing and much later time, like 200 or 300 years.
Art students from the Xi'an Academy of Fine Arts come here to practice their skills. And the residents sell produce grown locally. Now this gentleman is one of only, 400 people still living in this old village.
Yes, and he lives here with his wife and 2 children, and he grows some pepper around here. He runs this little restaurant with his family here.
This wonderful couple here are making a living by selling locally grown produce. What have we got?
We got here the pepper that is a kind of a very important spice for people to cook here. These are the leaves of the pepper, serving the same kind of function.
Okay, I'd like to buy some of the pepper. 35 yuan.
Ooh.
Thank you very much. And let's spill that out there so we can actually see.
Yeah, you can actually smell it.
So grown in the fields around the village.
Yeah, they should be grown from the trees.
Right.
And they have the leaves here too.
Wonderful smell.
Yeah.
Rich aroma.
Yeah.
Would flavour the foods that the people eat in this village and around.
Overlooking us, the village watchtower.
Well, this is an impressive tower, the watchtower.
Yeah, the watchtower of the town was very important for this town before, and it was built 300 years ago in the time of the Qing dynasty. Before that, there had been a wooden tower like this.
So important, but why?
Because they needed the watchtower to watch if the enemies were coming. Then they got a castle here to protect all the villagers.
Next on our agenda, a mountain of granite. Huashan is a sacred mountain that attracts thousands of visitors every day.
Well, Mount Huashan is certainly putting on a very mysterious atmosphere today.
Yes, it is more beautiful sometimes in the fog. And Mount Huashan actually is one of the very famous 5 sacred mountains in China.
Sacred for what reason?
Because it is religious and it has a lot of Chinese legends related to it.
Next stage in our journey to the summit is by cable car, out of the clouds and almost directly vertical.
The highest mountain peak will be like 2,000 meters above sea level.
The final stage is a stiff climb upwards, a climb where the railings are lined with thousands of ribbons and locks.
The Love Lock. Now this is going to give me great prosperity and peace and happiness in life, is it not?
Yes, the Love Lock, and when you lock this here, and it will guarantee you have luck, you have great luck, and you have happiness and you have peace in your life.
So I've had my wife's name inscribed in it. We're going to put that, secure that on there. On it goes, and click and key.
We're approaching the south summit of Mount Huashan, with the Chinese visitors posing very enthusiastically for their cameras. They've paid more than $100 each to reach this sacred summit, and they're determined to get a good record of their achievement. Even Tiger gets a bit snap-happy.
We have summited.
Yeah, we have summited the South Peak.
So the elevation is 2,100 metres?
Yes, 2,154 meters.
So we're in the clouds, closer to the gods. Congratulations.
Yeah, closest to the god.
Our Shaanxi experience climaxes right here, the tomb of China's very first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, a man of very big ambitions. He not only unified the country, had the Great Wall of China built, but also left behind an impressive army to guard him in the afterlife, the Terracotta Warriors.
This emperor actually was a man with a very big ego.
So the tomb we're looking at behind, he commissioned that when he was only 13 years old?
That's right. He was born in 259 BC, and then he became the king in 246 BC, when he was only 13 years old. He followed the suggestions of other subjects to build his tomb. At that time, he commissioned something like 700,000 workers to build his tomb. That took about 37 years.
Time then to witness Emperor Qin's legacy, his Terracotta Army, So large, they've built a display hall the size of an aircraft hangar to house it.
This is just so impressive.
Yeah, this is the world-famous terracotta warriors and the horses, and built by the first emperor of the Qin Shi Huang, in 200 BC.
So this is exactly where the terracotta warriors stood. We know that because we saw their feet embedded in the clay, even though the statues themselves had been broken.
Yes, this is the actual site of the terracotta warriors. When they were discovered, they were all in broken pieces.
In fact, while an estimated 8,000 have been found, only 1,500 have been assembled.
So down here we're seeing as it would have been when these terracotta warriors were discovered, the broken pieces.
So archaeologists and workers have been taking painstaking work to put them back together.
Now, the hospital. What's happening here?
The terracotta warriors that are discovered, enders, have been sent to this hospital to be repaired. And we call it hospital because this is the place where the soldiers are fixed and sent back to the front eventually.
Well, this recreation shows just how big these terracotta warriors were.
Yeah, and the average size of the terracotta warriors is about 60 feet, which is even bigger than the average of the Chinese today. These terracotta warriors represent the best of the soldiers of the emperor. They were chosen from the whole population, and they enjoyed certain kind of privileges, and they belonged to the royal guard. He was the only one that made the life-size, more realistic terracotta warriors in China.
The Terracotta Army was first discovered in 1974, and not too long afterwards, Tiger, as a teenage schoolboy, was one of the first to see them put back together.
That was in 1977, just about 1 year after they started to dig at the Terracotta Warriors site. And I came with my classmates. We borrowed the trucks from the military, and our military driver said that their comrades were guarding a place with interesting things. So we came here, we saw military canvas tents. We went inside and saw all these terracotta warriors in broken pieces sticking out.
Such is the popularity of the Terracotta Warriors that workshops have been set up to create replicas.
So there's a real terracotta phenomena here around the terracotta warriors. This place is one of many where they make miniature versions. Here's a miniature version of the general. We've watched the lady here pressing the clay together, clay from the general area, and in opening this, hopefully I'll see a miniature terracotta warrior. Let's see how we go. There we go. And this lady over here will finish off with some fine handwork, polishing it off.
For visitors wanting a bust of their own face, this workshop has a sculptor assigned to the task. Leave a photo of yourself and $1,000 and come back a week later to check out the artistic resemblance. Even China's leaders are honoured this way. Close to the Terracotta Warriors, there are hot springs that have been enjoyed by Chinese leaders for the past 3,000 years.
So these hot springs, quite famous back in the time of Emperor Qin. Fair chances are he would have used these very hot springs.
Right, this is the Lishan mountain, and it's been an extinct volcano, and we do have this kind of hot springs for a long time. They started to use the hot springs as one of the royal retreats from time of the Zhou dynasty, even from 3,000 years ago. So definitely 2,000 years ago, this emperor used this place a lot in the winter time.
That evening, we take in a performance of historic proportions.
The Tang Dynasty was a great empire in China. It was from 618 to 907 AD, and it was believed to be the apex of the Chinese civilization.
Is theatre a great love story?
Yes, it is a love story between the Xuanzong Emperor and his favorite concubine Yang Guifei, and there was a very famous love story in China depicted in one of the famous poems in the Tang Dynasty.
The setting is magnificent here. We've got the huge mountain behind, the lake in front, and it's coming alive.
Yes, this is the real scene, and the backdrop is just against the natural mountain, and the performance is done on a stage right over a lake.
So we're watching all sorts of theatrical manoeuvres here. Masked actors emerging from all flanks. The fire emerged from the water, with sparks emerging from the side. What a spectacular finish.
Yeah, that is like the war between the empire and this general coming from the border area.
What a great climax to this show and a climax to our trip. Thanks very much for joining us, for taking us around. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been an epic journey, made so much more enjoyable by our direct flights out of Australia with Hainan Airlines. Great service caps off what has been a fascinating time enjoying the wonders, historic and current, in China's extraordinary province of Shaanxi.